Live.
Okay, we are recording. Telephone lines are open, and you are live.
Welcome, everybody, to the meeting of the East Hampton Town Trustees for September 27th, and I'd like to open with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
United States.
United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay.
Want to take roll call?
I'll do roll call. John Aldred. And Francis Bach is here. Ben Dollinger.
Here.
Rick Drew.
He's here. Rick?
Was here. Tim Garneau.
I'm here, sorry, here.
Tim. You here?
Here.
Jim Grimes.
Present.
Mike Martinson. Susan McRoy-Keever.
Here.
Bill Taylor.
Here.
Move on to public comment. We're going to start the meeting tonight with Rich Brierly regarding 19 Chauncey Close, and I believe Regina Bykoff.
It's Bykoff.
Hey, Rich, how are you?
Good, Francis. Nice to see you.
You too. So what's going on?
Yeah. Well, good evening, everyone, and appreciate you taking the time for this. And I have and Regina, to introduce Regina. She's with PW Grosser, and she's going to back me up with more of the technical issues and hopefully answer any questions you might have.
Okay.
I don't know if you saw the email I sent, which kind of spells out my request, and I asked that because there was something that I put in there that I need to address because it was a slight error on my part. I'm trying to find it right now.
Okay. Well, I saw that email earlier, Rich.
Yeah.
But would you mind rehashing it a little bit for the rest of the board?
Sure, I will. But before I go any further, I want to clarify one thing that I noted in there was that I said that the DEC sent them the same request for the pumping into the pond, and
Right.
we have Brian McCaffrey, who is a consultant as well as a liaison between the client and the DEC.
Mhm.
Essentially, all our permitting and all our communication between us and the DEC goes through Brian. We sent this request to them. He came back with somewhat of a response from them. I put in my email that they looked upon it favorably, but their response was going to be contingent on the town trustees, and that's not entirely accurate.
Okay.
They definitely were favorable towards it, but they wanted to know your response, but that, their decision is not going to be solely based on your response. Is that accurate, Regina? I mean, is that how would you agree?
Yeah, that's accurate.
They're not shutting us down by any means, but they want to know what the town trustees, how you guys feel about it.
Mm-hmm.
Before they.
Hey, Rich, who is they? Who is your contact at the DEC on this one?
Is that Helen Chang?
Helen Chang? Do you have a contact number for Helen you could email me?
I definitely do.
So I'd like to speak to her
Sure.
and just get a better understanding, because usually the state weighs in definitively on their position, and we then independently weigh in. So this is one of the first times in 6 years I've been on the ponds committee that I'm hearing this kind of a position from the state. where they are considering our position as part of their deliberation.
Well,
So
Rick,
it's
that's
kind of a first time at that.
no, that's not unusual at all, because we're the owners of the property.
Right, but DEC, Jim, typically does go first, and we then deliberate thereafter.
Yeah,
That's,
but I think the
that's been
reason,
the most common scenario
Yeah,
that we've
I
had.
think the reason for this is the fact that these guys are asking to step out of bounds from the original conditions of the permit. And given the fact that they're requesting to discharge the waters directly into Georgia Pond, for the DEC, it would be a non-starter if the owner of the property was not agreeable to it. So it's a little different than a typical application.
Yeah, and I think, I guess where I'm coming from a little bit is that this is a first time effort for this type of project. And, personally, I've never deliberated on something like this and really needs, I think, some guidance from them. They have the technical resources much more than we do. I did reach out to Dr. Gobler to see what his thoughts on this were, and he was not able to get back to me today because the letter from Rich came in on Friday. So I think he should be, helping guide us a little bit on this because he's our water quality expert. And I would like to speak to Ms. Chang to better understand what the DEC is looking at with this, because the only thing I've seen is the same project over on West End, where there was a dewatering project that was taking place, and I had a chance to speak to a couple of guys on site, and they explained some of the fundamentals of how it worked, and it was just the first time I've ever seen something like this. So I'd like to learn a little bit more about the process before trying to deliberate on it.
Okay, so let's get
Yeah, so I'll circle
description
back.
of what the project is.
Yeah, so essentially what we have is, it's a residential, single family, and it borders on Georgia. Well, part of the property borders on Georgia Cove. The other part of the property borders on Georgia Pond. There's, we all know about the groundwater levels in these areas. So we had a dewatering system set up in order to install the foundation. That dewatering system was designed by Regina and P.W. Grosser. And we are in a situation now where, because the groundwater, what we have is some basically unforeseeable conditions. One of them being the groundwater, which is now about 5 feet, and the other situation is with the diffusion wells and the soil conditions that we have. Something that we couldn't see. So, at some point I'm going to pass this over to Regina. She can explain it better than I can, but what we have now is where we can't draw down enough to get the water out to do the construction that we need to do. We're probably about a foot away from where we need to be. Now, letting the pond, which I think is scheduled to happen soon, will definitely help us and alleviate some of that. But we need to keep this level of water down for a considerable period of time so we can build this foundation. So we can't take a chance of the groundwater coming in too quickly, or we get a storm or something like that, and the next thing we know, we have to shut the system down. So pumping into the pond will help us, and I'm gonna ask Regina to basically explain, for everyone's benefit, how the system actually works.
I'll just ask a quick question. I have this illustration. I think, Rich, you drew it. It's on both
The
sides.
sketch?
But that's all I have. I don't have any other information, so I don't know if everyone has all the details. I don't really know what the project is,
Okay.
other than the illustration that you sent.
I did send, I I don't know if you can do a screen share. Maybe Regina can do that and show the site plan.
I could do a screen share.
If that's all right.
Yeah, that would be
That'd be
great.
great. Yeah, I feel like I'm not up to date on this at all.
Okay.
Hey, Rich.
Yes.
I just have a quick question. It's Ben. How are you?
Good.
So does this system only need to work while the foundation's getting poured and then it's backfilled, or is it does it work throughout the year, or is it an ongoing thing?
Our permit gives us a 5-month period to work with. Once the foundation is done and the foundation walls are up and cured, we can backfill and abandon the system.
Okay.
Can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, thank you, Regina.
You're welcome. So this is the site. This is the proposed house right here. Around it, you'll see a series of dots. Those represent the well points. And then this dotted line represents the sheeting, which is driven to 40 feet below grade. So that acts as somewhat of a cutoff wall and prevents water, when the system is operating properly, from coming back into the excavation. This area here is the theater area. It is a little bit deeper than the majority of the house's excavation. This is also sheeted. There's 40-foot length of sheets on the perimeter, and then 20 feet of sheeting in the middle. And then there's these well points as well. This right here is a small recharge basin. The problem with this site and proposing a recharge basin is that there is a limited amount of room based on the setbacks from the wetlands area. But we did get a small one in. They do use it. Unfortunately, it's not large enough to handle the volume of flow that they're pumping out of the excavation. So instead, we propose, or to supplement this discharge, we propose the series of 3 diffusion wells, 1, 2, 3. What you don't see on this plan, because this is the newer plan, which we're proposing to go out to the pond over here. But while we were discharging to the diffusion wells, we were not only pumping through a settling tank, which is shown here, but there is a series of bag filters that polish the water even more before discharging to these diffusion wells. So the system started operating in August, I believe, and it operated for a number of weeks, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, with no back pressure. But after a few weeks of operating, the pressure valves at these diffusion wells went all the way up to 10, which was kind of our sign that something was wrong. So the system was eventually shut down. The driller was called back in to redevelop the wells. And during that time, he identified that the screen, half of the screen, 15 feet of the screen of these diffusion wells, is located in a silty clay material. So there's only 15 feet above where this water can diffuse to. And so after a while, when the system is operating, the water becomes so backed up that there's nowhere for it to go. And that's what's causing the wells to back up and to fail. So as an alternative, because while we can keep redeveloping them, eventually, no matter how much we would redevelop them, the wells are just not going to operate the same as they were designed to. It's kind of like, they'll be a little bit better, but they'll never be back to what we designed them to be used for in the first place. So now we're proposing the same well point system, the same settling tank, but the change is that instead of going to these diffusion wells, we're pumping the water through a settling tank and then transferring that water through this pipe to this point of proposed point of discharge. It's a scour pad and the turbidity curtain. And Susan, I think that's the drawing that you were referencing that you have. So that the detail for that would be on that hand-drawn sketch.
That's with the 8-inch PVC pipe illustration?
Correct.
Turbidity, okay. Yes.
Then we also had we had the water that we have been pumping. The discharge water was tested. I think Regina has that data as well, if you're interested in that.
We have data from when we first tested the water during the permitting process back in 2018 or 2019. And that is based upon what the DEC's requirements for a dewatering permit are. We also took a recent sample from the settling tank here. We analyzed it for iron and manganese because our initial thought was that the concentrations of iron and manganese may have been too high and they were kind of clogging up the screens at the diffusion wells, but that wasn't the case. We can take another sample if we need to, if the trustees would like us to, from the settling tank. And we can analyze for what, the typical parameters that we would analyze for a dewatering permit.
I mean, if it's not too much trouble, it might be helpful for us to share that with Dr. Gobler. So if you can, I think it would be helpful to get everyone comfortable and understand the project better.
I agree. I think a sample from 2018, might be need to be updated.
Well, Regina, I think you said you got water test data from your settling tank recently, so that updates the actual discharge water at this point, does it not?
It would be, yes, it would be indicative of what we would be discharging to the pond. However, we are only analyzed for iron and manganese at that time. Typically for a dewatering permit, there's a list of VOCs that we analyze for. If this is something that you think that we should collect and submit to a lab, I mean, I would probably defer to the either the town or the DEC for what parameters they would want us to sample for, or both.
When was the original dewatering system installed on the property?
Installation began in February with the sheet piling. I'm sorry, early March.
Okay. And did we have to approve a permit for it back then when it was originally put in?
No.
It's not in our jurisdiction, Ben.
Yeah.
Those were DEC and Village of East Hampton permits.
Okay, so why are we involved in it this go around?
Our whole jurisdiction right now comes from the fact that they're discharging it onto our property.
Asking
Gotcha.
to discharge onto our property.
Okay,
Yeah.
understood.
Yeah, because the diffusion wells are not essentially working as expected, we're looking for an alternative. And the pond would be an excellent alternative.
This is water that's eventually going to wind up in the pond anyhow, right?
It's coming from the pond.
Yeah.
Essentially.
It's being discharged. Sorry.
We're moving it from one part of the pond to the other part of the pond.
Correct.
And I guess the concrete curing, was it still a 28-day operation? But you probably got to do sections, so a couple months in the winter we're talking about, right?
Yeah, we might be talking about several months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Rich, do you have a plan of action that you could share with us, and the sample plan, and Ms. Chang's number and Dr. Gobler, and I think we have a complete package to look at, and then try to expedite all that information.
Absolutely, I could offer, and any requests I can satisfy. I'll get you Ms. Chang's contact info, as well as probably would be good to speak with Brian McCaffrey as well.
Okay, great.
And I'm sure Regina will offer her information.
Of course.
I would definitely like to understand the project in more depth. This is the first time I'm seeing it, so.
Yeah,
Anything that you
it's the
can
first
send.
time that this is being proposed for the pond, so I think we do have to do a little bit of homework here to represent the public's interest correctly.
And of course, I'm here at the site every day, so feel free to come
Maybe we
by.
can stop by, Rich, and say hi.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think a site visit would be
Monday through
helpful.
Friday?
I'll be here Friday, all
Okay.
day.
But Monday through Friday is your regular schedule?
Also, yes, Monday through Friday. I'm here. Yeah, every day from 8 to 6.
Very good.
Okay.
Thank you, Rich.
Regina, I have a quick question. Are we sure that this water isn't coming from the general watershed, which is to the north?
This is groundwater. This is the detail for the well points is down here. So grade is at, I think, approximately 10. It's hard to tell on the screen share.
Yes, that's correct. Mhm.
And this is down, the bottom of the well screen is at negative 10.5. So it's about 20 feet deep.
So the sheet piling forms a perimeter around the excavation and basically forms like a big bathtub.
Mhm.
And these well points, there's 150 well points around the perimeter. They're about 1.5 inches in diameter. They go down 20 feet.
Mhm.
And they draw the water up into a manifold at the top, and that water is pumped into the settling tank, which is about an 18,000 gallon settling tank.
Mhm.
And then from that tank, the water is then pumped through the bag filters. And from the bag filters, it's then dispersed into the diffusion wells. The diffusion wells go down about 80 feet. There's 3 of them. But like Regina said, we're having, those diffusion wells are not able to handle the volume of water because of the soil conditions.
Right. Okay. So Ben and Rick, you guys are going to visit the site?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to make an appointment to see Rich maybe later this week. I get off around 4:30, Rich, so maybe around 5 o'clock one afternoon.
Perfect.
Good. Ben, are you around this week?
I am, yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll
I
reach
can
out
go
to you.
anytime during the day.
All right.
So if you
So,
can
yeah,
go
if you
early.
could do around 5 o'clock over there, that'd be great.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
Yep.
Okay.
Hi, this is Jeremy Collet. I just wanted to say hi and thank everybody for your time and listening to our story here. And I will also, if you'd like, I be in the city for a doctor's appointment on Wednesday, but if you could meet on Thursday, I'd like to meet everybody there, if that's possible.
I'll check the schedule tomorrow. Thursday or Friday is most likely.
Okay, great.
I could do any time before noon on Thursday.
Yeah, all day Thursday works best for me. I've got some people coming out late in the afternoon on Friday I got to meet with, but Thursday, all day Thursday would be fantastic. I'd really love to meet you guys.
Okay.
And Ben and Rick, I mean, you don't, I mean, it'd be great if you came together, but we can come separately.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
be great.
unfortunately, I can only come after 4:30 this week.
Mhm.
I can make 4:30, 5
Yeah.
o'clock, whatever.
Yeah, 5 o'clock's when I would get there.
Perfect.
Okay. Anybody have any more questions?
I will later. I want to come, but I'm not available. I have to go to the city for doctors myself this week. So if I get in touch with you, Rich or Regina, just so I have a better understanding, I always like to see for myself. I can come next week. Is that possible?
Yes,
Absolutely.
you should definitely come and see it. It's really, you have a really good understanding, and Rich can explain it really, you have a really good understanding of exactly how it's working. It's pretty much,
Hi,
it's a pretty
Jeffrey.
simple. Hi, Susan, how are you?
I'm very well. I have a real quick question. Is this akin to, if this is not properly working, then you have flooding in the basement? You have flooding in the residence?
Yes, but we've done these before. We've done them very successfully. Actually, the last one we did, the water wasn't as high underground. This is 4.5 feet. We pumped water at 11 feet, and we did a 20-foot deep pour, and it's 5 years later, and actually the water levels come up 2 feet to 9 feet below grade, and everybody's high and dry. So we pride ourselves on our work. Pardon me?
With coastal erosion, is this going to be problematic as each year goes by, where the water table is rising to? No, it's a monolithic membrane that goes all the way up to the top of the foundation, which is about 1.5 feet above grade. It's really, there's no penetration of water possible on this foundation.
And the house is built on helical piles.
Yeah.
We call it a big bathtub.
But, I mean,
Seriously.
Yeah. No, it's important that it stay dry while it's cured. After that, it becomes impervious to the water.
Exactly right. And when all the equipment, all the wellheads will be pulled out, it'll be just the way it'll be left just the way we found it. And to your comment before, Bill, it really is. We are taking the water, we're pumping the water out of the ground. That's pond water, and we're pumping it back into the pond. It's a pretty simple system. We're pumping water out and we're pumping water in. So it's kind of basically, it's a very complicated, simple system, for lack of a better explanation.
Yeah, but I mean, this was basically, it's not a new concept or anything like that.
No, sir.
The only reason the trustees are involved right now is because the DEC won't allow you to do a project unless you have the permission of the owners of everything involved.
Yes, sir.
Which is where we come in.
That's correct.
Okay.
And just so you know, the DEC has been extremely complimentary to how with the system we came up with, how we came about it, and the performance that the way we've done everything since the beginning. Brian McCaffrey is someone they have a lot of respect for, and Brian and I put the team together, and we have a really good rapport with the DEC. They've been very favorable to everything we've done.
Okay. All right.
Great. Okay, so thank you for coming, and
well, thank you.
Yeah, we'll have some people over there to take a look.
Beautiful. Sounds like a plan.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Night.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rich.
See you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Next on the agenda, we have 31, 31 Association Road, new Phragmite control application on Upland side.
Yeah, Branches, I just got the plans on this today. So I would like to table this so that some of the members of our committee can go and visit the site, have a look, meet with the applicant or their agent, and get a better understanding of exactly what we've got here. I don't think this is something that we really can deal with tonight.
Okay. And that's Bruce Horwath. Is that his project?
Yes, it is.
Okay. All right. That's all we have under new business, except
the scallop resolution.
Right. You need to pass the scallop resolution. Excuse me.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I would normally have had John Aldridge read it, but he's having computer problems.
All right. Well, Francis, would you like to read it?
I can read it unless you would like to.
No, I think you have a nice, stage voice. It's
Oh,
really
thanks.
good.
All right, so as you know, we open scallop season every year after the DEC opens theirs, and we've recently started opening it on Sundays as opposed to Mondays. So let me read this into the record and we can vote. Resolution to delay opening of scallop season in trustee waters until November 7th, 2021. The following resolution was offered and hopefully unanimously adopted. Whereas section 213-18 of the East Hampton Town Code recognizes the trustees' authority to vary the permissible dates for the taking of scallops, and whereas section 213-12 of the East Hampton Town Code permits the taking of scallops from trustee waters between the third Monday in October and March 31st in each year. And whereas for the year 2021, the state has set the opening of scallop season in state waters as of November 1st, 2021. And whereas trustee waters have traditionally been open for scalloping shortly after the opening of state waters. Excuse me. Now, therefore, be it resolved that despite the provisions of section 2013-12 of the East Hampton Town Code, scallops may not be taken from trustee waters between 12:01 a.m. on Monday, October 18th, 2021, and before sunrise on Sunday, November 7th, 2021. Instead, the 2021 season for taking of scallops from trustee waters shall begin at sunrise on Sunday, November 7th, and end at sunset on March 31st, 2021. And be it further resolved that the reason for this delayed opening is to permit additional time for scallops to spawn, and be it further resolved that except as set forth above, at all other provisions of Chapter 2013 shall remain in effect, and be it further resolved, this resolution shall take effect upon the filing of the same with East Hampton Town Clerk and posting as set forth in Section 2013-18 of the Town Code. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to make a motion to adopt.
I'll second
I'll
it.
second it.
All in favor?
Wait, so Jim,
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, passed and carried.
who was the person that seconded? I think I did it at the same time. Who was the person? Bill?
Whatever. Bill.
Was it you? Okay, Bill. There you go. Thank you.
Okay, so scallop season this year will open on November 7th.
Yeah. I believe that was your suggestion a few years ago, Francis, and it's worked out wonderfully. Gives everybody a chance to get out there on a Sunday.
It's been really popular and really well received. Really great turnout by the community, and really thankful to the trustees for that.
Okay. So, old business. Dredging of Little Northwest Creek, bid package. Jim?
Yeah, we received the bid package a few days ago from Drew Bennett. I looked at it real quickly. I believe it's in order. I would like to make a motion at this time that we notice this project in East Hampton Star as per the conditions of doing this stuff, and get this out to bid. This work will occur in the month of December this year. So, the sooner we get this out to bid, the sooner prospective contractors can look at it, and we can be ready to get going.
We also have a grant writing on this bid, don't we?
We have a grant writing on this bid, but we have discussed, and I believe agreed to earlier, that we won't let the grant dictate doing this project, that we will fund it ourselves and be reimbursed, much like any of the other grants. Because if we wait, guys, we only have really a fairly narrow envelope every year to do this project. I would like to see us move forward with this, and then we'll get our grant later on. We're actually in the review process right now. I shouldn't say later on. It looks like we're going to be getting this money, but we are still in the process right now.
Okay, do I have a motion to post the bid?
I'll make
Motion to
Jim,
post
you
the
made
bid.
the motion. I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, let's get it out. Next on the list, the opening of Georgia Cagut.
Okay, as per the discussion we had at our last meeting, given the fact that the water quality numbers, as per Dr. Gobler, and the water levels in Georgia Pond, we would be letting the pond earlier this year. We wait for winds favorable to this, which we do have right now, and we will be opening that pond very shortly. I'm not going to give you an exact time and date at a public meeting, but you guys will all be getting an email from me with the dates and times.
Okay.
Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, Jim. I look forward to that.
Largest clam contest.
Okay, well, we are well underway, and everybody knows I sent an email out this week before the meeting, October 3rd, Sunday, 12 to 3. I'd like to see a show of hands as to who will help set up. Francis, Ben is on the committee, Bill's on the committee with me. Jim, are you going to be doing some projects as you did the last time?
When is this, Susan?
Sunday, October 3rd.
I can't commit right now. Right now, we've been pretty busy, and I've actually had to be working on Sundays.
Okay.
So if I can get off, I'll try and get off, but I can't guarantee that at this time.
Okay. Might you in advance be doing anything for the kids? I've got this clamshells coming to paint. You had that wonderful exhibit last time around.
Susan, I'm
know.
going to be honest. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to commit to that this year.
Okay.
Like I
All
said,
right.
I'm just between the other trustee stuff I'm doing and work. I'm kind of swamped. at the
Okay.
moment.
All right. So I've got Ben and Francis. I know I have my second half, Paul, who will help set up. And we also, thanks to Charlotte Sasso's son, Dante, I believe we're going to have some students from his school organization that he belongs to for community credit and we'll give them T-shirts to wear so that they can help with pickup, cleaning up, and helping out during the afternoon. Bill, are you here?
I'm here.
I don't see, oh, there you are. I was told that maybe you might be getting a platform for the band. Is this?
Have you spoken to the band about what requirements they might have? Have they seen the site?
I have not asked them if they've seen the site. I've spoken to Lynn. She knows where we are located.
Okay.
So
If they have any requirements, we will meet them.
okay. I have contacted the Parks Department. We have tables coming, picnic tables, garbage cans, things like that. We're pretty well underway, but what we really need, and Ben was out yesterday, I think it was yesterday, right, Ben? Sunday, getting prizes. I've been getting prizes. We need gift certificates, any kind of restaurant, or certainly some wine from local vineyards, restaurants. We need some gift certificates. We have adorable little clam baskets for kids this year in colors, and we will be giving away a certificate that's laminated that's very cute for the prizes, because the plaques are on order, but they're back up, so they won't be actually there on Sunday, but the company is going to be able to mail them directly. So that's good news. And I'll take a list of who is actually winning. But we need volunteers to sign up and help us set up. We're going to be setting up our tents. And I will get there at 8:30 a.m. on Sunday morning and go from there. We have Clint Bennett, who will be doing our clam shucking again, and he's going to pick up from Stewart's. For those people who have not seen our signs, I've been posting signs quite a bit. I left a bunch on our conference table. So if you would like to pick up some, I know, Jim, I delivered some to your office. I've covered a few things in Montauk and Springs and in the town of East Hampton. So anybody who wants to post some signs, Bill posted signs. We really could use that information to get out to the public. For the actual clams themselves, go to Peterson's in Montauk, Gossman's in Montauk, the Amagansett Fish Store, and our fourth one is Stewart's, and they will have the bags for you. They have the tags, and we all have to pick up from each place. So Ben, I'm going to count on you to cover that for us on Sunday morning or Saturday end of day.
Okay.
Because the last day of digging for the clams is October 2nd.
Okay. You want me to hit all 4 seafood shops or just
no?
just
If you
Montauk
go and do the Montauk ones, Gossman's and Peterson's, that would be swell. We also need pickup from Bostwick's for a clam chowder. They're doing a New England clam chowder. And then we have, of course, Paul Roman's, Mrs. Roman's Bonnick clam chowder. And we have the contest. I have judges lined up, and we're going to give each judge a t-shirt to wear as well with name tags. So everybody will know who they are. I think it'll be a fun time, and I hope we have good weather, but whether or not, it's on.
The weather report looks good. So we
Good.
should be okay.
Excellent. All right. What do you think about wearing masks? Anybody have any thoughts about that? Because we still are in, it's the news report this week in the Star is showing a climb in COVID and variants. So anybody have any thoughts on that?
Some safety protocols, Susan, are saying that if someone is not vaccinated, they should be wearing a mask. So you could have a protocol, if you're vaccinated, you're okay. If you're not, please wear a mask.
Yeah, I believe the town's policy is if you're going to be inside, you should be wearing on town
a mask, right?
Inside, you should be wearing a mask.
Okay, well, social distancing as best we can. I sent in information to WLNG for them to post it on air, and LTV will be coming to film it. I think that's about it right now.
Okay.
So hope to see everybody there. And any help that you can give us, that would be swell. Prizes.
All right. Thank you, Susan.
Thank you, Francis, and colleagues.
All right. So next we have the East Hampton Village Centennial Celebration and Parade. John, would you like to speak on that at all? John
with us?
Well, sure.
Oh, there you are.
We drove the new pump out boat in the parade. Jim, Francis, Bill, myself. It was a fun time. There were a lot of participants in the parade, a lot of interest in the street. That's about all I have to say.
Yeah.
I think it's a swell looking boat.
Well, that's the next subject. We'll talk about the boat after. Yeah, I thought it was a really great event. It was well attended. It was different than the parades we usually see in East Hampton. And I want to thank those who participated. All right.
I'm going to come to the next one.
That's 100 years from now.
I know.
All right, let's move on to the New York State Assembly public hearing regarding use. It's up. This one's yours, Susan.
Oh yeah. Okay. Neonicotinoids. I actually watched the assembly hearing, and the letter did get out. No one had to speak. That's why we sent the letter. But it was fascinating to hear both sides of the argument. People who had studied health and epidemiology and pesticide and agricultural studies. The lobbyists for the products, neon. Yes, Jim?
Neonicotinoids.
Neonicotinoids. Okay. There are about 12 or more chemicals that make those up. And of course, most of us know about Roundup, which is a popular pesticide that was actually determined to be a carcinogenic product. And
but Susan, Roundup is not a neonicotinoid. Okay, neonicotinoids are insecticides. Roundup
yes, and that product has neonicotinoids.
Okay, I'm not aware.
But anyway, I watched the assembly meeting. It was an all-day meeting. It went well past 6 o'clock, and it was fascinating and interesting. And they will, after reviewing everything, this is with Steve Engelbright, Assemblyman Steve Engelbright. They'll determine what to do about the pesticides. But it was very interesting to watch the procedure and to hear the evidence that was presented on both sides. But certainly what was most compelling, in my opinion, as a parent or with children, is that it does have impact on learning ability and brain functions and so forth. So we'll see what happens with it. But I thank everybody on the trustee board who supported the sending of the letter, and we'll see what happens. I find it very fascinating to watch how legislation occurs. That's it.
Okay. So you'll report back when we find out what they did with it.
Yes.
Okay. Next, we have an estimate to remove 2 dead trees on trustee-owned land.
Yeah, I went around with some tree guys on Saturday in the rain. Looked at the dead tree on the property line at the head of the harbor, and the tree across the creek, one of the arms to Georgica Creek, down off Georgica Road. And I subsequently spoke to Jim and Francis about it, and I got an estimate for removing the tree, but it turns out that it looks like we're going to be able to leave the remnants of the tree once it's taken down in Georgica on the private property from which the tree fell. So I'm getting a revised estimate, and was also asked to get an estimate on the tree, dead tree in front of the office. So spoke to them this afternoon. They're getting me a revised estimate this week.
So
I think that Georgica tree will have to wait until the pond is let anyway. The water level was really, really high.
Hey, John, for argument's sake, what was the estimate on the greater amount of work?
On the what?
On the work that they originally proposed, which I think was removing that tree in Georgica and dragging it out.
The Georgica estimate was $1,890 for labor and $675 for equipment and materials. So the estimate for the 3 Mile Harbor tree was $940, half a day for labor and equipment, and that would have been a total of $3,500 for both.
So can we approve the one at the head of the harbor now and the trustee thing, and do the other one as a separate job?
I don't know, you're the clerk, Bill.
Yeah.
You tell me.
I mean, we can, well, what we can do right now is we can have the tree at the head of the harbor removed, have any work that's being done at the trustee office done as one job, and then after the pond is let, we can take care of the other one.
Where's this tree in front of the office?
I think they were going to
Dead
take
pine
that
tree on the west side.
On the west side. Okay.
Yeah. I saw it when I was walking around in the bushes there on Saturday.
Okay.
Assuming that tree will have to be removed. That tree can't.
Yeah, John, it's not a very big tree.
Yeah.
It's pretty desiccated. It's not going to weigh much. You just cut it. You can probably cut it and drag it out in like 3 pieces. It's not a big deal. But you know what? I'd like to make a recommendation. Let John complete his pricing on this, and none of this is an emergency. We can vote on this at the next meeting.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Especially a 3 Mile Harbor tree just died this summer, so
Yeah.
not coming down anytime soon.
All right, so table it for next.
All right, committee reports, pump out vote.
Well, as anybody that's been by the trustee office may have noticed, we have the new pump out boat. It was a long time coming. They literally finished this boat, I think, about 1 o'clock in the morning on Friday morning, and they drove it down to us basically the next morning.
Jim, is it still there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Unless somebody stole it, Tim. Yeah.
No, it was there at 5
I'll
o'clock.
swing by tomorrow.
Yeah, my suggestion on this, Francis and I talked about it. We've got the largest clam competition going on this weekend, and we thought maybe let's leave the boat up top, let the public see it, and very shortly, we're going to be ending our pump out season and getting our boats cleaned up, ready for winter, and I think we should basically put them all to bed together. The manufacturer did see trial it up in Rhode Island. He did say that, when we launch it in the springtime, any issues, whatever, just please get in touch with them. The guys have been great in terms of being responsive to any issues that have come up.
Now, did you go over there last week?
No, I did not.
Oh, okay.
No, the reason I was going to go up there and kind of bug them because, the manufacturer was really good. We asked him if they could complete the construction early because, and it was really for a vanity kind of thing of we wanted to put a brand new boat in the Centennial parade. And they really worked hard to get the boat done for us. They were very apologetic, even though it was not their fault that it took so long to get a motor. But we've got 2 identical boats that look great. Our new boat gets rave reviews from the operators in Montauk. They're loving it. The fact that we'll have 2 matched boats in operation next year and a boat in backup is going to be terrific because these things have gotten a tremendous amount of use.
Yeah, we got a lot of great comments on it at the parade.
Yeah, and I think we should extend a special thanks to Chief Michaels and the town board because, we had some issues earlier in the season this past year, basically related to the volume of material that we were actually pumping. And they're in the process of basically doing engineering. That tank that we have right now is a 3,000 to 3,500 gallon tank. And they're getting ready to replace it with a 5,000 gallon tank. So
that's the receiver tank in Montauk.
That's the receiver tank in Montauk. And guys, it's really been kind of a team effort here. I mean, Chief Michaels, we've had some bumps along the way this year with some equipment failures and things like that. And him and his guys have been really, really responsive and good about jumping on things and helping us out and us helping them out. The guy that does the pumping for the town when we were having trouble with the pump down there. He actually went over, pulled the truck up next to the dock and pumped our boat out directly so that Savannah could keep working. So it was a really nice, I really enjoyed working with the guys this year. I really felt like there was some real camaraderie in that there. And as you may remember, we raised the pay up, and I think everybody appreciates it.
Right. Yeah, next year should even be better.
We hope.
I have a question, I guess. A question for the board. What do you think about thinking in terms of maybe getting some kind of, now that we have 3 boats, the trailers are always out in the weather, boats are out in the weather most of the year, getting some kind of a better storage arrangement for them, maybe a canopy or something that can...
John, that's not really a great idea because, I took the one boat, the older trailer, down to, when we pulled those boats out in advance of that hurricane, and, not for nothing, the rotors were all rusted on the older trailer. It took me, and you could follow my whole trail because it took me about 3 miles to free up the rotors where basically I wasn't leaving skid marks.
Is there any rubber left on the tires?
Yeah, well, no, they didn't turn square on me, but no, it came up. But what we could actually do probably pretty cost effectively is, those canvas structures. It's not canvas. It's a very durable material. We could put something like that there, and it would be a big, big help that you could back those boats into over the winter. You could leave the trailers in them over the summer, and
it's a tight space down there. I'm not sure where we're going to be putting 3 boats.
Well, we make a little space that we commandeer with the trustees, and we can do a little additional clearing and grading.
I'm going to share my screen for a second. Can you all see that? The boat?
Yeah, it's a beauty.
And it's backwards, the letters, I'm sorry.
No, it's not. It's fine.
Well, they're okay? That's interesting. For me, they're all backwards.
Well, no, in here we read from left to right.
Well, from my viewpoint, they're all backwards. But anyway. Okay, so that's the new pump out boat.
Fine looking boat. Yeah, it seems that the company went above and beyond to try and get it to us on time. We should.
Well, and it was a sad story because the guy had sea trialed the boat. He had taken it back into the shop, cleaned it up. They were going to do the no skid and stuff on the deck. They did it. Everything was fine. He took the boat to his kid's baseball game because he was going to take the boat home and just leave from his house in the morning. It started to rain up there. The deck wasn't quite dry, so it got all the little pecker marks in the paint. He ran the boat back to his shop, got his guys to come back in. They cleaned all the old paint off. They redid the whole thing.
Wow.
Put under lights and, with the heat lamps and all of that. They didn't get out of their shop until almost 1 o'clock in the morning. And then the guy brought the boat down to us the next day. I really appreciated the fact because originally that boat was not scheduled to be delivered until today.
Wow.
Awesome.
Great.
So,
Really great company.
Hey,
yeah, no, they've been good.
Hey, Jim, do you think we would have an opportunity to set up a power washer where the boats are stored? So after they're hauled, the trailers and
do the bottoms on them?
Yeah. And
that would actually, and we don't have to, you don't need the biggest or best power washer on that. A little cheap one will do just as good a job. In fact, it'll do a better job because you won't pry the bottom paint off the boat.
Yeah, no, it could be helpful. Avoid the 3 mile skid marks down Bluff Road.
Yeah.
What you really have to do with the boats, with the trails, is use them once in a while.
Yeah. No.
Drive
That's
around
all. Yeah. Hey,
is what the worst.
Yeah.
thing
No. It was a case. The bearings, everything was packed on that boat. But when you have the rotors sitting out in the air, literally for 6 months, and the wheels never turned. That's all that happened there.
Yeah,
You drive around the
notoriously
block,
difficult.
once a month, and they'll be fine. The hatchery has like 5 or 6 of those electric power washers in use most of the time. I'm sure we could use them for a day or two.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. I have a feeling if we bought a power washer, we'd use it
We'd be tracking it
every
down.
6 months, and it might wind up like the rotors.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe we could ask one of the pump out boat operators to make it part of the schedule to drive the trailer around a block the first of every month or something. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. We can have, Bill, we can have Arlene on that. Hey, while we're on the subject of taking care of stuff, when Francis and I were cleaning that truck on Saturday, we noticed somebody sideswiped something with that pickup truck.
Wasn't me.
I know. We already interrogated John, put him under a polygraph. We believed them.
Which
But,
side of the truck?
It's on the passenger side. And it's not somebody ran into the truck. It's something where somebody basically kind of sideswiped maybe a post or something in the ground or that. But, the one thing I would ask is, the truck doesn't get a tremendous amount of use. Right now, it's full of sand in the interior. The dashboard had dust and crap all over it. And, guys, not for nothing. We just got that. It's a brand new truck.
Mm-hmm.
I think it behooves the trustees for us to do a better job of taking care of our stuff.
I agree. I will tell you, when I've used it for the mosquito larvae water sampling, I wash it out. I learned that I thought the water would stay in the back. And Francis, thank you for informing me. But I just have a dustpan and take the sand out. I'll come by and clean it out. How's that?
That's wonderful.
Okay.
Is there a logbook for signing the truck out?
I don't believe so, Rick.
Maybe we should have a book so we know who's using it.
No, it's just one of those things that, hey, it's ours. It doesn't get what I would describe as any real, it's got no miles on it.
You know what it needs,
doesn't get any real use.
It needs windshield liquid.
Okay.
It doesn't have any. And so do we have some in our office?
Well, that's pretty easy. You just
No, but we can do that.
Yeah. Right.
I'll take care of that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Francis.
That's all
Otherwise,
I got.
I'll learn how to do it and I can go and take it. Fill it up. I don't see anybody excited about that idea, but okay.
I didn't. I was writing. I didn't hear what you
Yeah,
said.
no, it's okay. I mean, if you show me how to do it, I can do it too, to help. But I'll come by tomorrow and sweep it out.
All right. Anything else there?
Yeah, Francis, I have something that I think should have been on the agenda, maybe before the administrative stuff. I can run it by the board.
Sure.
This is, I want to share the screen, but this is we got a phone call from Hampton Waters Association. They have an association path to the beach, to the harbor, 3 Mile Harbor from Oyster Shores Road. And currently, the path crosses a marsh. And currently, the path goes around the marsh like this and crosses off of their property and onto the adjacent private property. And they've applied to they have a permit from the DEC to build a walkway across the marsh here. And they asked us if we have jurisdiction and if they need a permit. And apparently they've just also contacted planning and the ZBA about this, so they haven't even really embarked on the natural resource special permit process. So what I did was ask them to apply to us.
Yeah, but John, can I ask a question? Why would they be applying to us?
All right, let me back up a minute. This marsh here, there's a ditch in it. Let me see if I can find out where to, you're seeing the picture, right?
I'm seeing the picture, and you know what I'm seeing, John, is on the right-hand side, mean high water. That's
the path. That's the path, right? And this is the marsh over here, and this is the ditch. I'm assuming this marsh somehow connects to the harbor, and I'm assuming there's a mean high watermark in here somewhere.
Well, there's a mean high watermark located 10/21/14 on this survey.
But that's only on the harbor side. It doesn't show anything in the marsh, which would be here. Now, I don't know if one exists, but I've spoken to planning and told them that I thought it was important that they find out if there is a high water mark in here and ask, for the surveyor to determine that. If there is a high water mark in there, then we do have jurisdiction and we should give a permit, I believe.
Is this the same where you go drive all the way to the end in Hampton Waters, and at the very end there's an open space, and that is like a little parkland, and then all the way to the left is a pathway that leads out to. No, that's not it.
You know where Oyster Pond is, Susan?
Yes.
It's next to Oyster Pond. Oyster Pond is north of this pathway. It's on Oyster Shores Road, almost on the very northern end of Oyster Shores Road, where I think it's Peter's Path, maybe?
Peter's Path?
Intersects with Oyster Shores Road, opposite Peter's Path, I believe.
Okay.
I have a... I'm sorry, Oyster Pond Lane. It's opposite Oyster Pond Lane. Oyster Shores Road, Oyster Pond Lane. This is their pathway. This is their, right.
This is not where they wanted to put the kayak racks, is it? In that area?
That's down the place you described earlier.
Okay.
It's sort of the other end of Hampton Waters.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it'll take them a while to get there, to go through the ZBA process. I was just hoping that we would, get a high water mark out of there and determine if we had jurisdiction. I asked them to file an application in the interim. So, it's on our radar. And then once we find out more about this, we can determine whether we have jurisdiction or not. And the other thing is the wetland flagging is only on one side of this marsh. There should be another wetland delineation over here. This grade goes down to marsh in the vicinity that they want to build the walkway, and it comes up into a dune, sort of a dune area before it gets to the water. So this marsh is sort of cut off from the harbor. So that's that situation.
I don't understand these ditches. They go nowhere. They just dead end on both ends of them.
Yeah, I don't know who made the ditch. It looks like it might have been an old vector control job.
All right, well, if they're willing to do the work to see if there's a high water mark other than what we see here, that would be helpful.
But put in the request to the planning department to ask for a high water mark, a high water line,
Okay,
if one exists.
okay. So we'll see what happens.
Right.
All right. Thanks, John. Anybody have any questions on that? All right, we'll move on to administrative payment of the bills. East Hampton Marina pending, gas and oil. I don't know what this, I don't know why that's here. There's no, okay, skip that one. Sorry, guys. Montauk Anglers Club, $797.87 for 100 hours service on the Yamaha engine. Intact Services USA LLC, $3,950 for boat insurance, excess marine liability. Intact Services USA LLC, $9,061. Boat insurance, hull and machinery, protection and indemnity, terrorism. East Hampton Star, $326 for ads for the largest clam contest. And that would be it for now. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to pay the bills.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Who's Long Island, or who's Montauk Anglers Club? Is that Gone Fishing? The new Gone Fishing name?
I believe so.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, we have minutes from August 9th. Has anybody had a chance to review them?
No, I let Allison know that I was running behind this weekend, so I will catch up as fast as I can on them. John, you usually read them as
Yeah.
well.
Well, yeah. I looked at them, but I can't remember if I responded or not. I think I did, actually. Actually, I didn't. I just saw a few typos, but we can hold it off till the next meeting.
Okay. And finally, we have financials for the month ended August 31st, 2021. Anybody have a chance?
Francis, I did have a chance to look at them, and the board is spending some money on environmental dredging, the pump out boats, legal fees, protecting public rights, but we're also generating revenue, and it actually looks like a pretty healthy financial statement. So I have to say that I think our board's doing a good job of managing its financial affairs and doing good work in the process. So I'd like to make a motion to approve them.
I'll second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? All right, does anybody have anything else before we say goodnight?
Good night.
I would like to say congratulations to Chris Carrillo on his marriage.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, where is he?
He sat there quietly.
Oh, there he is, nice and tan.
Yes.
Congratulations on your new life together, and best wishes to Mrs. Carrillo as well.
Thank you all.
Hey, Chris, now that you're back, we've got to catch up on a few things.
It's time to get back to work.
All right, we'll give you a call.
Ready. Sounds good.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Congrats.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Okay. Nobody has anything? I'd like to say goodnight.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Hey, guys.
Okay. good
Thank
to
you,
see
Matt.
everybody.
Motion to close.
Motion
You're
to
welcome.
close second.
Okay, have a good night,
Thanks.
everybody.
Thanks, Matt.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.